I think there is no voice. I'm not hearing anything.
Okay, so hi guys, good evening. I'm audible now, guys.
Yes, sir,
Yeah,
you are
you are
audible.
audible.
Okay, so guys,
Yes,
like
good evening.
as you all know, this is a AWS master program, and recently we completed with the AWS Solution Architect, and today we are starting with the second module, which is AWS Advanced Security. So after completing this, we are gonna cover the next module, which is AWS Advanced Networking. Sanjay sir, over to you. Now you can start with the session.
Thank you. Thank you, Gaurav. Uh, Good evening, everyone. First of all, I think I should share my screen, and I think this screen is visible to everyone. Guys, today we are starting AWS Security Specialty Program, right? So what is the importance and what we are going to cover in this? This is very, very important. So, first of all, I would like to share AWS Security Specialty Program, the syllabus. In this syllabus, we have the introduction to AWS Specialty. Then we'll talk about the threat detection. I'll share all these documents with you. And this is the syllabus we have, right? So in this syllabus, all the necessary topics, all the necessary concepts are written, which are very important to learn AWS Security Specialty Program. So the main chapters are threat detection and incident response, security logging and monitoring, and infrastructure security, identity and access management, and data protection, management and security, governance, and some additional topics also are there. Let's say AWS well-architected framework. You should have very, a clear idea about well-architected framework, direct connect, ECR security, Lambda security, and EC2 image builder. Now, guys, first of all, I would like to just give an introduction to AWS security specialty. As I told you, this is your first session. And in this session, we will discuss about, let's say, the security, what exactly we are just going to cover. Let me just give you a minute and we will start here. Okay. So guys, the first thing is the importance of AWS security specialty uh, certification in industry. So you need to understand the introduction of AWS security specialty. So what exactly it is. So I will write here and later on I'll share all these notes for you. So directly I'm not starting actually the course, right? So first of all, you should know what we are going to cover and what is the plan in AWS security specialty certification. This is a very advanced level of certification, just remember. And I think I've already studied about AWS Solution Architect Associate level. And I feel that the concept of AWS is clear to you people, right? So let's say this is AWS Security Specialty Program. And the first thing is introduction. So in introduction, we'll talk about the purpose of the course. What is the purpose of the course? So AWS Security Specialty Certification basically is a highly valued in the industry because it proves that a professional has deep knowledge of securing AWS environment. And as businesses move their workloads to cloud, they need experts who understand the data protection, identity and access management, incident response, and compliance best practices. So this certification helps IT professionals stand out in cybersecurity roles as it validates their ability to detect threat management, and manage risk, and implement security measures effective in AWS. So secondly, this was the purpose, right? I was talking about the purpose of the course. The second purpose is highlight the career benefits and advanced skills usually you will have or you will gain. Means the earning AWS security specialty certification opens up the great career opportunities in cloud security, as it proves your expertise in protecting AWS environment. With this certification, you can qualify for role like cloud security engineer, security architect, and compliance specialist, which often come with higher salaries. You will gain advanced skills in identity and access management, encryption techniques, threat detection, incident response, and securing AWS workloads. So these skills help you design the secure cloud solution, detect vulnerabilities, and ensure the compliance with the industry standard, making you valuable assets to any organization. So one thing is very clear. Uh, I will definitely cover all the topics in detail, but side by side, the concept, theoretical concept, as well as the design concept, right, and lab are equally important. So we will cover everything. So you cannot expect the lab for each and every concept here. Okay. Second is we need to understand the overview of the secure exam. Overview of AWS security exam or security specialty exam. I told you we have various domains. The first of all, I need to write the domains like incident response. Sometimes we called threat management and incident response. Second is logging and monitoring. Logging and monitoring. Okay, I think monitoring, right? I'm not good in typing, but this is very important to share with you. Infrastructure security. Third domain is identity and access management. Access management, identity. And the next domain is data protection. Right. So these are the main domains. Our course is divided into these 5 domains. And what is the learning outcome? We need to discuss the what actually you will achieve at the end of this course. And we will definitely mention the practical labs will enforce the concept, right? So in the meantime, if you have any question, you may ask very clearly. And AWS shared responsibility model. So what is the shared responsibility model? We will cover all this. Means we need to define the division of the security responsibilities between AWS and the customer. What is your responsibility as a administrator, as a security expert, and what is the responsibility of your customer? We need to discuss. We need to discuss actually the share responsibility model. And we will use the diagrams as well as the chart to visualize all these things. And we have few more things. Let's say we are talking about the core AWS security services overview, means in detail. So core AWS security services. These services we need to discuss in detail, in depth. For example, we have AWS IAM. I think you are aware what is AWS IAM is, everyone? Identity and Access Management. Second is we have AWS CloudTrail for logging purpose, AWS CloudWatch for monitoring. Then we have the KMS. What is the KMS? AWS KMS, Key Management Service for data encryption. Data encryption. And most of the services are paid here. AWS WAF. WAF is a web application firewall, and definitely will give idea about the shield as well. Right. Please do not enable the services until you don't know the charges about those services. This is the very, very important, because the shield is a kind of a service which is very expensive. So it will ask you to enable shield in your work environment, but the charges are really huge, almost $3,000 per month. So please do not enable any service until you know the prices of the services. And AWS Massey for data security. So these are the key security services and their role, and how these services interact. So let me just talk about one by one. Let's say I'm talking about IAM. IAM control who can access AWS resource, enforcing the least privilege access with the policy, roles, and multi-factor authentication. Second is CloudTrail for logging. So CloudTrail logs all the API activities, helping the track changes, detect unauthorized access, and support compliance audit. Third is CloudWatch. CloudWatch is a monitoring service that that the cloud will provide real-time monitoring and alert for unusual activities such as failed login attempts or unauthorized resource modifications. Second is the KMS. KMS is a key management service, encrypts sensitive data using managed keys, ensuring that only authorized users or applications can decrypt it. And next is a firewall, which is known as a WAF. WAF is a web application firewall, as well as the shield also is there. So WAF and shield basically is a one service dashboard which protects the application from web attacks like SQL injection and DDoS attack by filtering the malicious traffic before it reaches the backend. And finally, we have a Massey. Massey is for data security. Massey enhances the data security by automatically discovering, classifying, and protecting sensitive data like personally identifiable information stored normally in AWS S3. S3 is a service, right? And then we'll talk about all these things in detail, all the services in detail, one by one. So you will better understand. Sorry. So we will go and just study all these things one by one. Let me just think what exactly, how we can just go. One more thing, I have a document which is really very, very important in order to understand about AWS security that I will share at the end of this session. You need to explain the importance of AWS security in industry. Right. So directly we cannot jump on practicals or lab. So one by one, So first of all, today's session is to understand about the security, what exactly we are going to cover and how we will cover it. So are you guys, are you understanding what I'm explaining here? Hello?
Yes.
Right. So explaining the importance of AWS security in the industry. So this basically the course is highly regarded in the cloud industry due to increasing need for professional who can secure AWS environment and protect sensitive data. So we have some explanation of its importance as well. For example, growing demand for cloud security expertise means the cloud adoption and security breaches and compliance. These are basically the demand. We have the industry recognition of this particular course, which also enhances the career opportunities and mastery the key AWS security services. So these are the services I was just talking about, right? And meeting the industry regulatory standards and valuable for cloud first and hybrid environment you will work and you will see all these things. We have the career benefits. So career benefits definitely I can discuss later on because I need to just jump directly into the course and I will start this course. But very important is this overview of AWS security exam. So how much it is basically. So I'm what I'm doing, I'm just concentrating on AWS certified security specialty exam, which is designed to validate the knowledge and skill required to secure AWS environment. So how much the part of these domains will ask in the certification. So almost the 15% will come from the incident and response. Incident and response, basically, what is the objective of the incident and response? It is respond to security incident. When we say the incident respond, means respond to security incident. I will share a proper written notes to you all people. So you have not to worry about what I'm speaking and what you will and how you will remember. So you have not to worry about because I will share all the notes one by one, step by step, right? So you have to listen me very carefully. So the first I was talking about the objective of incident response. Respond to security incident, implementing the procedures to respond and to manage security incident, including identifying, investigating, and mitigating security threats that will come in incident response. Even in the incident response, you can also detect threats. The threats that we have n number of services that we will learn in the incident response, like GuardDuty. GuardDuty is a service. CloudTrail, Security Hub to detect suspicious activities and anomalies, and implementing automation security responses. For example, we can use Lambda functions and CloudWatch events to automatically trigger incident response actions. And finally, forensic. Forensic will also come under the incident response, which will conduct the forensic analysis of incidents using CloudTrail logs, VPC flow logs, and other tools to understand root cause. A few topics definitely I will take again if you are not clear in your AWS Solution Architect Associate level, right? We will talk about later. Second is logging and monitoring, which is normally 20% of the total weightage. The total weightage, right? 20%. So what are the objectives of the logging and monitoring? First of all, configure and manage logging. Logging means you are collecting the logs of your resources, of your application. You can set up and manage logging for AWS resources, including using the CloudTrail, CloudWatch logs, and VPC flow logs. So what you will configure here? You will learn CloudTrail, CloudWatch logs, and VPC flow logs. And I think most of the you people know about what is a VPC flow log, what is a CloudWatch logs, and CloudTrail. Even though in this program, we will cover these topics again, and we will emphasize on logging. Second is a monitoring security postures that will come under the logging and monitoring, which will implement the continuous monitoring of security event and detect and respond to the security anomalies, right? And if you don't understand anything, you please let me know. I can explain. If you are comfortable, I think the language I'm speaking, I think you are understanding. But if you have any challenge, you can come. You can explain me later, right? Or you can raise any question if you have. Now, in the logging and monitoring, the second objective is log management and storage. So you can set up secure log storage and management practices, which will ensure that the logs are retained, logs are stored, and logs can be analyzed, right? The logs can be analyzed. So if the logs are analyzed, where the logs to be stored? So we will understand all these things. Second will come under this logging and monitoring is alerting and notification under the logging and monitoring. It means you can configure CloudWatch alarms, SNS topic, CloudWatch logs to notify security teams of any suspicious activities, right? Okay. And the next we have basically the third, I was just looking for the infrastructure security. Sorry, the infrastructure security. And infrastructure security weightage is approximately 26%. And in this, you will understand the configure network security. And we will start with the implementing and configuring the security features such as security group, network access control list, VPC peering, transit gateway, and VPN. These are also a part of the security. And parameter security. Parameter security is what? Again, protecting your resources using web application, firewall, and shield. And firewall manager, there is another service will come, the firewall manager, to safeguard against DDoS attack and web exploits, right? And one more thing, the managed security at scale means you can secure large scale environment with the tools such as AWS config and AWS system manager to maintain compliance and control over the network, over the environment. Next, and the fourth component or the domain of the course, which weighs around 20% of the total, right? In this, what you will learn and what are the objectives? The objective of identity and access management. You are well aware because we know what is IAM service in AWS. We can use IAM role, policies, permissions to manage access, control to AWS services and resources. We will enable the federated access. Federated means I'm talking about the single sign-on, an identity provider, for example, Active Directory. And we can also enforce multi-factor authentication for users and roles. And we can also manage permissions under that will come under the identity and access management. And finally, how much is left? This is your last here. Let's say it's around 90%, if I'm correct. So data protection will come around 90%. What are the objectives of the data protection? The first of all is the data encryption. So till now in AWS Solution Architect, I think you have done everything. You have used EBS, you have used a number of permissions and access to the data, but very rarely you use the data encryption. But here we will learn use the AWS encryption services like KMS, which is known as a key management system, and Cloud HSM, hardware security module, and S3 encryption to ensure the data is encrypted at rest as well as in transit. So you will learn the data encryption at rest, data encryption during the transit. Both techniques you will learn here. Backup and recovery means you will see the implementation of data backup and recovery solution using AWS services like AWS Backup, S3, and Glacier, right? This way, few more things are there. So we will talk about step by step, right? So this is what we have, and let me just see. This is the document that I will share with you. In this document, you have to just go and read this very carefully, because the total 28 pages are there. And this is your introduction level, very basic level, right? So I did write almost everything. So I will keep providing you the supporting documents. I will keep providing you the supporting documents, right? Here. Do you see here? Like CloudWatch. Then we have some engagement, explain the importance of the security. Then, so you have not to remember means you have to read it very thoroughly. The highlight the career benefits, advanced skilling, what you will have, you will see all these, and overview of the security specialty exam. And I did write all these the weightage of the domains. Can you see here? Infrastructure and security. Then we have the identity and access management, 20%, and finally data protection. Up till here, I think I just explained you everything. Now, what you will achieve, definitely, all these things are written here. I don't want to waste my time. This is the responsibility and share model we'll talk about later on, step by step. Here, how to secure EC2 instances in AWS. Right here, this is a very basic thing that you need to understand. Let's say you have an EC2 instance in your AWS account, and somebody is asking to secure that EC2 instance. So what are the ways to secure EC2 instance in your AWS environment? You can use a key pair authentication, the first of all. So I did write some here, the secure access to the instances. So this is what are the secure access to the instances? Use key pair authentication, use a key pair in which you will have a public key and private key. So my question is it possible to launch a machine in AWS without a key pair? Anybody? Anybody? Will you give me a little idea? You can write in the meeting chat.
Yes, it's possible.
It is possible, right? It is possible. Yeah, it is possible, because most of the time, we are using the public and private key. But within the AWS infrastructure, if you have multiple instances and you want to you need a secure communication from outside, from the public network or from any other cloud. In that case, I think the public and private keys are mandatory for SSH access instead of using the password and username. So ensure that the private key is stored securely and never shared. Never shared. These are few things are given, and on the basis of these, we can manage some labs. So we will see all those labs later on. So today I'm not starting any lab. Today, tomorrow we will start with implementing. The second option to secure your EC2 instance is implementing security group. So you can protect actually the incoming ports from outside. And the most important is the biggest vulnerability is SSH from everywhere, from anywhere. No, from anywhere you will not provide. You will identify an IP address from where you need to access the machine, whether it is a public IP address or a private IP address, and you will allow only those IP addresses on or over SSH to access that particular EC2 instance. And you will deny all necessary inbound or outbound traffic, which is not required. So you need to ensure that so unnecessary ports are not opened. Secondly, multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication also is basically a way for secure access. For additional security, multi-factor authentication for users accessing the instance through the systems manager session manager, right? So means if you are using AWS environment as a user, so your account must be MFA enabled. Second is AWS system manager session manager. You need to avoid SSH access together and use systems manager session manager for secure, auditable, and agent-based access to EC2 instance. Means how to access your machine using systems manager within the AWS environment. The second is the network security. I'm just giving the answer of this question only, right? So these are the solutions. These are the solutions you can say here. These are, let's say, solutions. We have the solutions. We have the solutions. The second solution is a network security. Why I'm discussing here? Because you are aware of all these things. So maybe on the basis of this, we can do some labs, but we will go step by step. Network security, you need to configure NACL. What is NACL? NACL is a subnet level of firewall in VPC. It is what? It is a subnet level of firewall in a VPC, because we are dealing with two types of firewalls. One is a security group. Security group you generally add with load balancer or EC2 instances to filter incoming as well as outgoing traffic. But if you have multiple instances running in a same subnet and you need a similar rule for multiple instances, so instead of configuring the same rule, definitely you have to configure in security group, but you can also configure the same security group in a network access control list, right? And you can enable the private subnet. What are the private subnet? The private subnets are not accessible over the internet, right? And EC2 instances in the private subnet wherever possible, and use the NAT gateway for outbound internet traffic. Means how to use the NAT gateways. If you remember, that's fine. It's fine. If you do not remember, we will cover also this, right? And use VPC endpoint. VPC endpoint is a very important for the private instances to access machine using the tunnel, right? Means you have not to use any Bastion host, because the Bastion host these days are not recommended as a security professional. Because if you are creating bastion host to take the remote of EC2 instance, it means not only you are investing on some additional machine, you are also basically sharing and creating keys in that machine. So if that machine is compromised, it means your entire backend machines can be compromised. So instead, what you will do, you will use VPC endpoint. You will use a VPC endpoint here. And you need to access the services privately without exposing the traffic to the internet by using the VPC endpoint, right? And second, we have the secure operating system. So secure operating system, this also is basically the component of your EC2 instance, which is running on machine. Regularly, you need to update your operating system. You need to disable unnecessary services. You need to identify the services which are not required, right? And configure the host-based firewall, right? And use SE Linux or App Armor. What is SE Linux? I think SE Linux, if you know Linux, this is basically the security enhanced Linux in Linux machines to enable security in Linux operating system, or App Armor can also be used in some different Linux flavors. Then the another security option for EC2 instance is called identity and access management, in which you need to assign assign IAM role, proper use IAM policies, and data protection. You can also, in the data protection, if you have a data in your machine and you need to access the data maybe from within the VPC or outside from the, either from another VPC or from outside AWS environment. So you need to use a encrypt, you need to encrypt your data at rest. So we will learn there are the two type of encryption, data at rest, encryption at rest and encryption at transit. So the key management services to encrypt EBS volume. You know what is the EBS volume? So generally we do not encrypt, but in secure work environment, it is recommended to encrypt your EBS volume. Take a regular snapshot of encrypted volume. This also is important. Encrypt your data in a transit. Let's say if you are accessing your data from the remote location using SSL and TLS protocol, so you need to encrypt data transmitted over the internet or from the remote location. You can use Open SSL for secure connection. You can also enable encrypted swap space. What is a swap space? Swap basically space is a you can also say it's a basically the hardware or disk space that works with RAM to enhance the performance of your Linux operating system, which is known as a swap space. So, okay, and logging and monitoring. In the login and monitoring, you need to enable CloudTrail. You need to go for monitor and CloudWatch, where you can set up the CloudWatch alarms for memory, network activity, and CPU utilization. You can use CloudWatch logs for application and operating system level logging, and use config. Config, I told you, it is basically providing a kind of a inventory, right, for your resources like EC2 instance. You should enable it. If you enable it, you configure basically AWS config continuously monitoring and configure the changes in the or for the instance. So ultimately, you can maintain the what do you say, inventory of your resources. So if somebody is making some changes, so you will come to know that some changes happened in your EC2 instance. This also is basically the secure way to access your EC2 instance. And Finally, you have a GuardDuty. GuardDuty is a service name, AWS GuardDuty. So why GuardDuty is important? The GuardDuty is basically to detect the threats such as unusual login attempts or malicious activity. Let's say you have an application on your EC2 instance and somebody is trying to log in into that, or somebody is trying to log in into your AWS environment. So you can identify such kind of threats or such kind of events using GuardDuty. We will go and see later on. And backup and recovery, you can take a regular backup through AWS backup service, or you can also take a snapshot and test recovery procedures, then protect against the DDoS attack. For the DDoS attack, we have the two type of shields available. One is a standard, and standard is enabled by default. So you have not to do anything, please. Right, you have not to do anything. It means the shield standard is already enabled in your AWS account. And for that, you are not paying any money. But if your application is really critical and you have a budget to pay for AWS Shield, you can enable AWS Shield Advanced, right? You can enable it. And next is apply the security best practices for your EC2 instance to protect your EC2 instance. Number one, limit root user access. So generally, we do not provide the root access to anybody. But if you are providing the root access, so you need to limit the root user access. Secondly, rotate the key access. For CLI, for command line interface, generally you are using access key and secret access key. So it is recommended to rotate those keys time to time to avoid any compromise, means that key can be compromised. So that you should rotate the access key. Secondly, we need to disable unused account, right? In your company, you can have multiple AWS accounts, right? And if you are not using some accounts, so you should disable any default or unused user accounts, or you either user accounts, means if you have a John user or a Charles user or ABC user or Bob user and you are not using them. So if you see we do not have any activity on those users, you should disable such users, right? Or user accounts. Then finally, we have a advanced security measures. WEF we already talked about. SSM is a basically systems manager, which is known as SSM. An SSM agent is installed on your EC2 instance for automation that we will see. Bash and hose is basically recommended in very certain use cases, but I will say please do not use it because we have a VPC endpoint instead of this. So we can use, we can write, we can also use VPC endpoint instead of bash and host, right? So I think this is, you have, and I did write in green color, you will remember, compliances. And these are the core services, IAM, right? And CloudTrail, CloudWatch, KMS, WAF. So one by one, we will take all these services. So which service you will start, it is up to you. So I think we should start with IAM. What do you say?
Yes, sir. I think we had gone for it.
Right?
Mhm.
So we'll start with the IAM, IAM security, and IAM access analyzer. So we'll start with the IAM. So guys, this was a little idea about, and I'll share all these things. I'll create one Google Drive. On the Google Drive, I'll share all these things. But in the beginning, I would like to say we do not have any. Sir, your voice is lagging too much in between. My voice is lagging, guys?
No, it's fine actually.
Okay,
No,
okay.
sir. No, sir. It's fine.
Okay.
Right now.
No, it's
Everything
fine.
is
Not
fine.
now.
Yeah,
It
okay.
was earlier.
I think at my end, I think the internet speed is fine. Yeah. And one more thing, I think you all people will continue the course. So I think, am I correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right,
Yes, sir.
right. So tomorrow we will create one WhatsApp group, and that WhatsApp group will be basically very useful for us to share study material, links, everything. So today was just one introductory session. I explained you how the things will happen, and these are certain topics that we will see, right? We will see all these topics, correct, guys? So we'll start with identity and access management. IAM policies, permission boundaries, IAM policy evaluation logic, identity-based and resource-based policy. What is attributes-based control, IAM credential report? That definitely will take time. And we have a S3 topics as well under the identity and access, right? Cognito also is there. Will it be okay, guys? We'll start identity and access management tomorrow. And for now, I think if you have any question, you please ask question. So for today, I think this is sufficient. Tomorrow, same time, we will start with topic identity and access management for AWS security specialty program. If you have any question, please ask.
Sir, what is
So
the timing of
to
the class?
क्या कह रहे हैं?
Sir, what is the timing of the class? 8:30 to 9:30 or 8:30 to 10, sir?
देखो, we do one thing. Acha, one thing very important. How many of you are not comfortable with Hindi? Anybody? You just please write me in the chat. If anybody is not or don't understand Hindi, if anybody do not understand Hindi, anybody? कोई है ऐसा?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Krishna. Okay, Krishna is there. Why I'm asking this? Sometimes, let's say, मैंने ही कुछ बोल दिया, for example. So I feel that means in order to explain, sometimes you can use your native language as well. So we should not have any restriction. Okay, Krishna, I'll take care, right?
Yeah, and it's okay. I already attended last batch, and all. I don't have any issues in between.
No issue, no issue, no issue. I'll take care. I'll take care.
Anyway, you were presenting, going through all the presentation and all. We are covering topics and all. Yeah, that I don't have any issue.
Right. Thank you, dear. And tomorrow, first of all, one of you, I will give the responsibility to create WhatsApp group, and you will create the WhatsApp group tomorrow. And meantime, I'll create my document in one Google Drive, and tomorrow I'll share that link, right?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, today's was basically the intro class, and the service I'll start from tomorrow. So our first service will be identity and access management, correct?
Sir, class will 8:30 to 9:30 or 8:30 to 10?
देखो, ऐसा करते हैं, वैसे
सर,
तो
1 घंटे के लिए कर देते हैं।
अभी तो 1 घंटे के लिए करते हैं,
हाँ, sir.
8:30 to 9:30. सुनो,
हाँ.
there is a reason. It is not like a AWS solution architect where we have a very lengthy and simple practical. यहाँ concept होगा, तो I will keep you giving some study material as well to study it. तो इसमें तुम्हारा भी बहुत सारा काम है. You have to means study very hard on the given program, on the given notes. तो मेरे ख्याल से स्टार्टिंग में 1 घंटा काफी है, 1 hour इज एनफ इन द स्टार्टिंग, बट इफ वी फील 1 hour इज नॉट एनफ, इन दैट केस वी कैन इंक्रीज द टाइम, करेक्ट?
सर थोड़ा सा दिक्कत हो, क्योंकि मैं आउट ऑफ इंडिया हूँ और यहाँ पर टाइम रात को 1:30 बज जाएगा सर, इस चक्कर में मैंने पूछा था सर।
अभी तो
सर
1 घंटा रखते हैं ना।
हाँ 1 घंटा इनफ
1 घंटा
है,
ठीक है
गुड।
सर, 9:30 बजे से कॉल और बहुत होने लगती है सर।
अभी अभी 1 घंटा ठीक है भाई, मैं भी अभी बाहर से आया हूँ।
हाँ जी
मैंने
हाँ
8
जी।
बजे इसलिए नहीं रखा, बिकॉज स्टिल आई एम ट्रैवलिंग, माई अगस्त इज ट्रैवलिंग, आई विल बी ट्रैवलिंग, बिकॉज in a few days I'm just visiting to Coimbatore, right? So there is a one company where I'm just going to give the services in the secure for the security purposes. वो बहुत पहले से scheduled है, मई से scheduled है। So I will go for 3-4 days to Coimbatore. तो मैं कोशिश करूंगा कि छुट्टी ना हो, और लेकिन छुट्टी होती है तो 1-2 दिन की होगी, तो वी विल सी। और जनरली मंडे टू हम लोग थर्सडे रखेंगे, मतलब अभी 4 दिन रखते हैं, उसके बाद इसको धीरे धीरे इंक्रीज कर देंगे। वी विल इंक्रीज द टाइमिंग, वी विल इंक्रीज द नंबर ऑफ क्लासेस, और जैसा आपको कंफर्टेबल होगा मैं वैसा कर लूंगा, करेक्ट?
सर जैसे सोल्यूशन
Excuse me, sir.
या प्लीज।
Sir, I'm a cyber security student, and I just want to know that what are the prerequisites to start with this course, what we are attending now?
Saurabh, the first prerequisite, you should have a very clear idea about AWS Solution Architect Associate level, AWS services, and you should have an idea about the basic securities, means the basics of the security. Like you should have, आपने सुना होगा एक कोर्स जिसको हम बोलते हैं एथिकल हैकिंग।
Yes, sir.
राइट, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा, आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट यू शुड डू दैट कोर्स, बट
Mhm.
theoretical concept of that course must work for you, because we are not using any framework here, we are not using any third party tools, but concepts clear होने चाहिए। जैसे for example, what is a cross site scripting, what is DDoS, what type of attacks we can initiate on DNS services, what type of attacks we can initiate on servers। तो ये सारी चीजें आपको पता होनी चाहिए जो बेसिक है। और फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ दोज थिंग्स आर नॉट क्लियर, आई विल कीप अपडेटिंग यू, राइट?
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, sir. So guys, we are closing the session for the day. Tomorrow same time
Yeah,
we'll meet
I
again.
have one question.
हाँ जी, पूछिए सर, पूछिए साई कृष्णा।
Yeah, so actually, so some concepts are like will again cover, right? For those who have covered the AWS solution architect, again they will cover right here. Some not all.
Yeah,
Some of
some
the concepts.
services are there. For example, identity and access management. So let's say I'm talking about the policies. So you
Yeah.
know what are the policies, but
Yeah.
we will go little deeper in IM policies. For example, let's say I have all these are the notes. Can you see? Every
Yeah.
chapter
Yeah.
has a separate note, right?
Okay.
So मैं ये देख लूंगा, I will see all these and I'll share step by step, one by one.
Sure.
So you have not to worry about that, right?
Yeah. 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 I'm clear.
So, but our focus will be this certification, AWS Security Specialty.
Yeah.
तो उसको जितना डीप ले जा सकते हैं उसको हम डीप लेके जाएंगे, ठीक है?
Okay. Fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we have a limited time as well. That we have the two constraints. The first is the content, the second is the time. And without my knowledge, without knowing, without understanding any service, please do not enable the services. The first, you should understand the consequences as well as the pricing of those services, then only you will enable, right? Because all the services are paid services in the security.
Yeah. Sure.
Right. Thanks, guys. So, कल मिलते हैं. We will meet tomorrow, same time.
एट सेम लिंक सर?
हैं? हाँ,
Same.
ये लिंक तो यही रहेगा.
ठीक
The
है।
link will remain same,
हम्म।
right? कल
Okay, sir.
आइडेंटिटी एंड एक्सेस मैनेजमेंट करते हैं. कल we will start this, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, dear. Good night. Good night,
Good.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, sir. Bye.